is half of the history detectorist, sister detectorist. And the other sister is babysitting today, so we just want to go over some points of things to be looking for when you're out metal detecting. Signs that will help you find old homesteads, dumps, etc. Like you will look over here, and you're going to see rusty stuff. A lot of people would throw their garbage over the stone wall in an out-of-the-way place. You can see there's just a bunch of rusty stuff here. This isn't a very old dump. This is more of a newer one. But a lot of times you will find that people reuse their old dumps, and they would put the newer stuff will be on the top. As you dig down, you might find older things. So let's go on up. Okay, when looking for old roadways, look for stone walls on both sides. This is indication of a roadway. You're going to have X far enough for people to go up and down. This is not a very wide roadway. Some of them are a lot wider. And when looking for homestead areas, look for natural breaks in the stone walls. It could be an opening into a field or a homestead. But look to make sure that it's not been something that was done later. You can tell by how the stones are pushed back, whether it is a natural break or one that was done later on. Okay, let's move. Another thing you should be looking for is old plantings. Like you might find some old apple trees like this one here. Also, another important thing is water source. And over here we have a nice little brook. So we're getting close to the homestead. And a lot of times in these old New England ones, you will find stuff bermed up because the ground was so hard they'd actually have to put dirt up to make the cellar hole. So approaching here, we have some more apple trees. We'll start from the house area and then work our way through. Okay, we're in the front yard. You can see we have a really nice apple tree. And this would be the south side, so this should be your front facing of your house. So like you get the nice southern exposure. You see we got some brick. And this is a real shallow, but it's been filled in a lot. You got to think of all the years all this debris that has fallen in here. And a lot of the rocks have kind of tumbled in. Because this is just a simple round rock cellar hole. That cellar hole would have been for them to keep their fruits, vegetables, and things for the winter, like a root cellar. So this would be a main part of your house. And you can even come over here and you start to see a little bit of an indentation. It probably had could have had a little porch area or something up, or a little shed out here. In the old New England style farms, they would have an L. Everybody talks about the outhouse and everything else. They would have their outhouse out in their L area for the most part on these New England ones. And lots of times they had more than one well. So be watching out for wells so that you don't go stepping into them. We have a well down here. It's in the front, not far from the home. But over in this area, you're going to see that you just have this little rock area. And that would be for the L coming down through. You got rocks over here. This would have been an L area. They could have stored their wood and whatever they needed. And over here, the well later has been covered up. Later addition. But the well is under here. And it's not far, as you can see. But this is the well, and they've put in a rock over it to keep people out. So we come down through here, we're in a little L area. Then we get into the barn. This is part of the barn area here. You see the nice rock in. And we think out here, because of things that we have found over in this area, would have been a place where they could have possibly driven through with their wagon and unhitched the horses and take them right to the barn. Then we have another little area here that is like a short stone wall, kind of goes that way. That could have been for storage or just for extra animals or whatever. But back in the day, they would have people that were called fence viewers, And their job was to make sure that people had their boundaries for their fences in line. So all these stone walls that you will see around these lots, it was to keep animals in and also to mark their boundaries. Okay, we're standing at the back of the cellar hole in the farm area. And you can see what the cellar hole looks from over in this area. And you can follow down, see the L that leads down to your barn. Okay, here we have the modern blaze, which is marking the now owner's property line. And you can see where the old stone wall is for the original. And up here we have some trash. It's probably from the 20s or 30s. A lot of times what happened, the farmer, they didn't have a dump back in the day. When they were going out to work, say to cut wood, they'd throw the garbage on and it could end up anywhere. You can find, there's all kinds of little dumps everywhere. More modern, as you can see. You got some cans, water bottles, just some of that stuff right there. But you might find little trash dumps everywhere. You just have to be looking out. And over here, as you can see, we have an opening in the stone wall, and we have a really nice stone wall here that is wide. Now the wide stone walls, they would kind of keep the cows would not go over a wide stone wall. That's just a little fact there for you. They would not climb over them, so they'd make nice wide ones for them. But they had plenty of rocks. That was their free commodity to make their cellar holes, their boundary markers, etc. They didn't have cents or money for any of that kind of stuff back in the day. It's also important to metal detect away from the homestead because you're going to find a lot of random finds, and a lot of them are the good finds. They will be the more interesting things because they would lose things out when they were working. And like here, nice would have been nice fieldy area for them to have a garden or hay or whatever. And you can tell a lot by your field areas because the tree growth is not very heavy. It just doesn't grow back as thick. Okay, here's another thing to be looking for. You can see this nice indentation, which could have possibly be a dump underneath, or it could have been a building. When you scan around, you will be picking up nails and stuff. You probably know it's going to be a building. These are things you want to be looking for. And another thing, make sure that you do scan your stone walls over them, on them, because a lot of times if they had something that would break, they would put it up on the stone wall so the animals wouldn't get into it, or they throw it over the stone wall. When metal detecting, make sure that you always get permission from the landowner. Be respectful of his property. Do not leave your trash behind. Be respectful and treat it as you would your own property. And make sure you sign up for our YouTube, subscribe, so that you can keep updated with our videos. This is something we're going to be working on this spring, summer. And be sure to check out our website, stevensmills.net. That's STEPHENSMILLS.net. Thank you.